Hi, and welcome back to this series on intonation. I've been sharing some tips with you on intonation, but to really get the results, you want to take my training, Teaching Strings Made Easy, because I will show you step by step how to set up your students so that teaching intonation is easy. So without that background, yes, you'll still get results. But with the background, you'll get even more results sooner from your students. Because there's a lot of little skills that I build upon so that it sets this foundation for intonation to just come naturally to the students and make a lot of sense. And if you can't take Teaching Strings Made Easy this summer, Teaching Strings Made Easy is my live online summer course. You can opt instead for the Smart String Teacher Foundation, which is my self-study course. Okay, totally online. You can do it in your own time. And you also get supported by me twice a month on Zoom. And I'll probably do a few more extra ones in the summer too. So let's move on to the next topic in this intonation series. And I'm just making it up as I go. So what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about, we've been mostly talking about playing in unison. So we played the scales in unison with the pauses, and we are playing simple songs in unison with pauses. Now let's talk about playing a scale in thirds. So when you're playing in harmony, it's a slightly different skill set from when you're playing in unison. When you're playing in unison, you want to be predicting the notes that you are playing. And I like to call it that. So that's one thing, one tip for you is when you have the pauses, it's kind of like slow motion, right? Yes, you're thinking about the note ahead of time, but once you start going into songs and stuff, it's more like you're predicting the next note in your head. Okay, and when you explain it that way, using the word predicting the next note, then it really encourages students to automatically think of the note before they play it. Because to predict something, you have to think of it before you do it or before it happens. Okay, so that's a really good word to use is, are you predicting the next note before you play it? So when you're playing in unison, you're predicting the next note before you play it, and you're making sure you're playing it in tune with the rest of the group. When you are playing in harmony, however, that gets trickier because there's going to be a lot going on. So say we're playing a scale in thirds. What you want to get the students predict is not just one note, but you want them to predict the sound of the harmony they're just about to make. And you might be thinking, how are they going to be able to do that? Again, go back to that first lesson where I said you need to trust that the students are well versed enough in Western music that they know what something is supposed to sound like. Okay? So they can predict a lot of it. And after hearing it a few times, they will get better at it. So apply this to playing scales in thirds and have them predict the harmony before they play it. So do it with pauses. I would do it with pauses, yeah. So you'd have do and then re, and then the other group comes in. Before they play, think about what your note is going to sound like in harmony. Then you play that note. Okay, stop. Think about what the note's going to sound like in harmony. Okay, that has worked wonders because then they actually listen to each other, right? Whereas if you don't explain it that way, they will only listen to themselves still because they've been only playing in unison. Does that make sense? So give that a try. So this week I want you to try playing the scale in thirds and have them predict the harmony as they're playing. So start with pauses first and then take out the pauses and see what happens, okay? If this video helped you, remember to like it and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next tip.